Here's how I made this super cool cosmic swirl animation thing using just paper towels, watercolors, paper, and a little bit of Photoshop and Premiere. I actually got this idea from watching Regular Show a few weeks ago. I noticed how cool these intro credit screens looked. They look very digital in the way that the blacks are really deep and the colors are very vibrant, but there's also something about them that looked very hand-drawn analog to me. Looking at it more, I got the vibe that it was maybe an inverted image, and bringing it into Photoshop, it definitely looks like that. So I grabbed some paper, put some color blotches on it, took a photo of it, inverted it, and then raised the exposure, and it's like pretty close already. I went to Walmart and just got a super cheap watercolor kit, and then I kind of just dotted them on some paper. I ended up using paper towels instead of brushes. It looked more random and like celestial, I guess. I don't know. My iPhone actually had this setting where I could invert my screen, and so I was able to actually look at what I was making through my camera, already seeing pretty close to what it would look like inverted. And that was super helpful, being able to just kind of like do these a bit consciously, although I did manipulate the color a lot when I was editing. And so yeah, I just made a whole bunch and went and got them all scanned, super high resolution, and dropped them all into Photoshop. I put an invert adjustment layer over all of them, and then just went through with the levels effect and just kind of finding a balance of what looked best to me. Basically, the images need to be overexposed a bit in order for those blacks to look really rich and deep once you invert it. And so then I brought it all into Premiere. I messed around with a couple different ideas, and what I ended up finding I really liked was having this kind of slow overlay of everyone into the next and giving it this very slow movement and just making these real gradual fades in. And man, editing this was a bit rough. My computer was struggling for sure, but we got there, and I think it turned out really freaking great. I actually made this as a graphic for my local theater, as like a please silence your phones now thing. I ended up just putting a regular font on it. I normally really like doing hand-drawn stuff, but when I tried that with this, it just weirdly matched the background a bit too much. Having two like real physical drawings just kind of distracted from each other, I guess. And so I found this font. I think it's pretty good. I think I have the rights to use it. I don't know. It was on my computer and I don't think I downloaded it. So Creative Cloud or something, I hope. I didn't worry too much about the patterns of the paper towel kind of coming through on the paper. It definitely has a very hand-drawn, like physical look to it. It doesn't look super digital, which I actually really like because it kind of contrasts having, those very saturated colors, those very dark blacks. And as well that, this whole thing looks fairly digital, doing these very smooth rotations and zoom outs, it's all digital and it looks perfect. And so it's nice to have something that looks a little worse to make the whole thing look a little better. At least I think that's how it works. I don't know. But yeah, having that contrast in there is cool. The very smooth, digital, perfect presentation of a drawing done with kids' paint and paper towels. And it looks awesome, I think. I wouldn't change anything.